at Department of Optometry, Main School of Parallel Sciences. Today we are going to study about the development of crystalline lenses. Okay, so already I have thought of the development of optic vesicle, right? So you know that the optic vesicle arises from the diencephalon. You know that the optic vesicle arises from the diencephalon. So diencephalon will extend anteriorly and it will give rise to the optic vesicle. Okay. So there is a surface ectoderm near to the optic vesicle. Okay. So what will happen here? This optic vesicle will come in contact with the surface ectoderm. Okay. So the optic vesicle comes in contact with the surface ectoderm. The region in the surface ectoderm which comes in contact with the optic vesicle is called as lens placode. Okay, again I am repeating, you just see once. So in surface ectoderm there is a part, okay, this part comes in contact with the optic vesicle and that is called as lens placode. Okay, so this is the first step I am telling you. After that what will happen? So our optic vesicle is there here, right? What will happen? This lens placode invaginates into the optic vesicle. Okay, so you can able to see a depression here, right? So this optic vesicle, the surface ectoderm invaginates into the optic vesicle. Okay, so what happened here? The surface ectoderm already came inside the optic vesicle. So this is the optic vesicle. So optic vesicle is a spherical structure. It is a spherical structure. When the lens placode, you already know this is the lens placode. Okay, so this is the lens placode. When this lens placode invaginates into the optic vesicle, it will be, this spherical structure is developed as double layered structure. Okay. Again I am repeating, you just check it once. So this is the optic vesicle. So inside the optic, so this surface ectoderm, no, the surface ectoderm invaginates into the optic vesicle. So already optic vesicle is a spherical structure. When this lens placode, this is the surface ectoderm which invaginates, when it invaginates, this spherical structure will develop into a double layered structure. Okay. So after that, this optic vesicle will engulf the lens placode here. So it will engulf the lens placode. So it will engulf the lens placode. After some time, what will happen? Already it has engulfed. After some time what will happen? This engulfed lens placode completely comes inside the optic vesicle, then which is called as lens. So this is called as lens. Okay, so it's clear. Again, once again I am repeating, you just check it once. So here we have the optic vesicle and this is the surface ectoderm. This optic vesicle comes in contact with the surface ectoderm. So in surface ectoderm, the part which comes in contact with the optic vesicle is called as lens placode. Okay. So next see here. So after some time what will happen? This lens placode invaginates into the optic vesicle. Okay. So optic vesicle is a spherical structure. Okay. So when this lens placode comes inside this optic vesicle, the optic cup, so this is called as the optic cup, will develop into a double layered structure. So this is the outer layer and this is the inner layer. So it will become a double layered structure. Okay. So after some time, gradually what will happen? So this optic cup will engulf the lens placode and after some time it will be separated from the surface ectoderm which is called as lens. This particle which the optic vesicle engulfs is called as lens. Next, I am just drawing the same structures which is present here into a straight one. Okay, I am just changing the position. Okay, so this is the lens, the black color structure. The black color is the lens and the outer part is the optic cup. Okay, So I just want to tell you, these optic cup. Imagine this is the optic cup. Okay. So the optic cup grows in a differential manner. Okay. So the superior and the lateral part. Okay. Superior and lateral part of the optic cup will grow faster. Okay. It will grow faster. See. So the superior and lateral part of the optic cup will grow faster when compared with the inferior part. Okay. So when compared with inferior part, because in the inferior area only the optic cup has to engulf the lens. Okay. So this region, the inferior region, will grow in a slower form. Okay. So whereas the lateral and superior optic cup will grow faster. Okay. So because of that purpose, this inferior part is not closed. Okay. So the inferior part, so here it is the superior and lateral. So inferior part of the optic cup is not closed properly. Okay. So that region is called as, choroidal fissure. Okay. So the incomplete closure, that region is called as choroidal fissure or fetal plate. So it is called as fetal plate. Once again I am repeating, you just see. So this is the optic cup. The superior and lateral part of the optical cup will grow faster when compared with the inferior region. It's because the inferior part is going to engulf the lens. Okay, it is going to engulf the lens vesicle, that is called as lens placode. Okay, so that's why this area, the inferior part, is not closed properly. So that region is called as choroidal fissure or fetal plate. Okay, so it's clear.